Sorry Gregor for stealing your thumbnail, my bad bro, my bad. A week ago, I made a video covering the eternal problem with Overwatch Ranked, and now I'm coming full circle, talking about the esports scene. Specifically, why it's been shrinking since 2019, why you watching this video don't care about the scene, and what incentivizes someone to watch the esports scene as a whole. I think it's good to start at the beginning being 2018, the inaugural season of the Overwatch League, and the numbers it were pulling. According to Wikipedia and esports charts, the league averaged between 80 and 170,000 viewers, with playoffs peaking at 350,000 viewers. The year-on-year numbers actually increased in 2019, which is actually kind of crazy considering the GOATS meta we were in, which not only were people bored of, but barely anyone understood what was going on. It actually got so bad that fans were booing the Houston Outlaws for swapping off their DPS comp back to the GOATS comp on Temple of Anubis.
As they see the defensive setup, they will just simply swap it away. Crucial time lost here for the Outlaws.
Fast forward to now, and while we don't yet have numbers on the recent mid-season madness, the numbers for the league have lacked stability. Having viewership in the mid-30s during the knockouts isn't a good look, despite having 20,000 more viewers in the qualifiers and the same teams were playing. It's actually worth noting that the reason for this 20k drop is likely due to the lack of skin incentives, as esports charts say. Viewers don't have incentives to watch matches or stay after they earn the skins. So there's about 1 billion factors that have caused the league's decline over the years. Of course, there's the YouTube versus Twitch dichotomy, and I think everyone's in the same boat that the league should have stayed on Twitch, but hey, money talks, and the $160 million is quite a bit of cash. But I think it goes deeper than that for sure. I'm sure there's at least some correlation between how Overwatch is performing as a game and the league's popularity, but is it as simple as Overwatch is dying, therefore the league is dying? I don't know about that. We still have a huge casual player base that still don't seem interested in the esports scene at all. So why is this? I think a very overlooked aspect of the disinterest in the league is actually the personalities and the narratives involved in the scene. I saw this tweet of Avast and Bad Pachamari the other day, and it was showing the general manager of the Houston Outlaws, Flame, going onto a Avast stream to talk about their composition and roster choices and about the narratives that were going around. I wasn't old enough to catch the stuff back then, but figures like Super and Jane, that's right, Jane, remember that guy, frequently came onto a Avast stream to talk their shit. What about the casters like Sideshow and Bren, who created the Jane Invents Esports meme?
Jane is going to invent esports! What? Are you kidding me?
Unfortunately, Sideshow and Bren then moved to Valorant. What about the whole XQC fiasco in 2018?
No, he didn't smoke. Shut your mouth, go back there, second fact. I mean, he would like it, but...
So many games ahead. Love you.
To many Overwatch League fans, this was their first exposure to XQC's toxic side.
Or heck to sleep-deprived Owlcast.
Man, and do dumb shit. He did a bunch of dumb shit and won and lost that. No.
Or even DJ Khaled performing in the league.
The label here and be like, they gotta be laughing hysterically when DJ Khaled says we the best. I know they're all looking at him like, fuck you mean we?
There was so much dumb shit going on the surface level that honestly spiced up the league whether it was meant to or not. Even Bad Pachamari's marketable series made the league a lot more digestible and, funnily enough, marketable to casual players, which I'll get onto later. The narratives and memes were juicy, the personalities were funny, and even casual players could look at the scene, point and laugh from afar without needing to get too invested into the league itself. Nowadays, the personality of the league just feels dead by comparison. The streams by Vast are still great, don't get me wrong.
London, no! Legitimately getting capped in a better time by Vegas, that's like when Bane broke fucking Batman's back. Like when he broke Batman's back in the pit. You know, like this is like London are looking lifeless.
But now all we have are the same recycled memes posted by mid-social media managers trying to act hip, cool and relatable behind the face of multi-million-dollar organizations. I will say, seeing snippets of the players and coaching staff does help add some personality to the players, but when players can also get ditched the literal month after they sign their contract, it's hard to be invested in the team and the players involved. I also want to talk about how esports teams are supposed to make money nowadays. Gregor talked about this in his Why Esports Sucks video, but in essence, because the business and monetization model for esports is significantly different to how regular, traditional, sports-based, regional teams work, the only way teams can make money is through winning tournaments and prize pools, which, as you can guess, is pretty unreliable.
The only way that the teams can really generate profit off of this sort of thing is through winning tournaments, because they are not embodied within the region or the convention center where the event is being held. Okay, there's not a direct revenue stream. When there is an event in Charlotte, there's no organization that's just based in Charlotte that's playing in Charlotte that's making money off of people going to Charlotte. In order to make money, you gotta win the event.
I think if you want to bring over the casual player base to esports, you have to combine the casual content with the esports itself. The devs kinda did this in the grand finals last year, where they revealed the new hero being Ramatra, but they could have done a lot more with this. You could have a section either before or after the grand finals where pro players could be playtesting the new hero and casual players could be like, oh, so this is how the hero is supposed to be played and how the hero looks when the best players in the world are using the hero. And I think that's how esports kinda needs to be looked at, like a marketing tool for the main content and for the main game. Rainbow Six Siege do this quite well by intertwining all the new content with the peak of the Pro League to help market that new content further. I think the devs could have leaned into this with Lifeweaver and hopefully with the next new hero. I also want to talk about the meta and even the changes that recently went through. I saw this thread by Junkbuck, Hawk, 9K, Yiska and Spylo talking about the meta and comp diversity we've seen in the league. Whilst I don't think a still meta really plays a huge factor in the death or lack of interest in an esports, I mean, look at Overwatch League in 2019 when it was just Ghost meta, I think it's one of those factors or straws that broke the camel's back, so to say. I'll link the Twitter thread down below because it's a pretty interesting read, but a big takeaway I got was Tracer's prevalence. 9K, Junkbuck and Hawk all agreed on Tracer being too powerful, mainly because of her low risk, high return that you get from her mobility and or her pulse bomb. And I've said this before, but the devs need to start nerfing the aspects of heroes that are utilized in higher level play, because lower level players aren't utilizing them. Nerfing pulse bomb by increasing its charge rate does nothing to lower level players because they were never getting value out of pulse bomb anyways. Same thing with Kiriko's teleport too. In short, it's a death by 1,000 cuts kind of situation. The YouTube and Twitch deal, the mismanagement of Overwatch 2, investors likely being led on by Bobby Kotick back in 2018, the ditching of sponsorships and advertisers in mid-2021, and the league's personalities and narratives drying up, as well as an overtly complex and frankly boring meta, all lead to the average player, likely you watching this video, not giving a shit. Gregor had a good comparison for smaller scale esports in comparing it to NASCAR, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Because it really does look so freaking simple on its surface. Who would watch this? I'd just rather watch F1. But NASCAR is massive in the American South. This motorsport is one of the biggest cash cows in the country. Why? Because it's a redneck soap opera. You probably have an investment in the narratives of the personalities involved in this stuff. And that's probably more interesting than the actual gameplay itself. At least, that's my working theory.
So, I don't think the Overwatch League is ever going to reach its former glory, or even reach out more to the average casual player. And maybe that's okay. Possibly one day, we go back to a more grassroots, localized sort of tournament style, where the league is broken up into smaller pieces, and contenders players and tier 3 players are intertwined with that system too. That's it for the video. Shout out to my tier 2 Patreon, broken by 50%, and my other channel members, XBenny, T-Meg, Chris Jones, Craig, 9socks, Resolucio, and Susfring. Until next time.